Call the Board of Finance special meeting for May 6th to order. Seeing of alternates. Have we heard? I know Amy's there. I see her.
Carl's
And Carl's there too. And Vanessa. Okay.
great.
Public comment. All right. So we are going to, let's start.
Doesn't make any difference to me. You want to start, Dave, or I'll start if you want.
I will let the Board of Education go first.
Okay.
Because usually alphabetically is before the OS.
There could be a couple of other reasons too. Okay, this I'm going to give you two packets. One is the sixth draft of our budget. Is that to everyone? And then I have another sheet that indicates the changes that we made. And Andrea will hear this for a second time.
I'm good.
She said our meeting last night.
Oh, Ginger. Yeah.
Thank you.
I need one.
Okay, did you get one?
I just gave it to her. I need one.
And you,
Thank you.
all right, that's one. And the second one is a list of some of the things that we
Does anybody in the audience want that?
yeah, we have a few extra copies if anybody in the audience wants one.
Just for you, you might just as well give the whole.
Not all of them, because we need some. Cassins.
Sure. Oh, here, and here you go.
Okay,
Thank you.
Martin, just great, this one. And
Big pep shooter.
okay, are you going to be the purveyor?
Sure.
Huh?
I can do it. Just not there.
I just.
Here, give me one of those for sure.
Oh, I didn't give you a day.
No, I'm good. Thank you. Well, I
Okay.
didn't have this last evening.
Thank you.
Why not?
Let everybody get settled. I don't know if everybody was here last time when we presented initially, but our principal of Kellogg School is here. Andrew Lucan, for people that don't know him. He's been with us since September.
December.
Or December? December. Okay, time flies. So he's been thrown right into
Budget season.
right. Okay, you had asked us to cut $50,000. We spent an awful lot of time going over this. And I will tell you that the most that we could manage without us feeling that we were going to really hurt the education at Kellogg was $41,387. So we got pretty close. But we felt it was better to do our due diligence and support why we couldn't get all the way there and present it to you, and we'll see what happens. Probably the best place to start is the smaller picture. It says proposed budget reductions. That kind of lists where we felt we could reduce without. Well, we knew we were going to hurt the budget no matter what. Anybody that's been around long enough for the current Board of Education knows that we are very, 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 very close to the vest when we do our budget, and we try to present to you a budget that will not require reductions. It doesn't always work, but we think that we have presented our first budget. Actually, we thought was the budget which was the best suited for the town. We have cut 41,387, as I said, out of our total budget, and you had asked for 50. So I want to be upfront with you right from the start. I think it would be easier if we took the budget reductions, the smaller one, because we have it listed line by line, how much it is, and the notes regarding it, which I think will be easier for you. And then we've got the second page we'll go over later, gives you more information. As you can see, there are a number of cuts that we made. And I'll go through them quickly. If you have any questions, you can ask me. We reduced from the proposed draft, the Title I teacher, which is a 4.59%, and we reduced the grant administrative cost pending RSSC approval. Hopefully we can, and I think we'll find out no later probably than Friday. If that doesn't happen, we will go back and we will find the $3,500 someplace else. Teacher salaries, we reduced the PE position from a 0.65 to a 0.6. We've been trying for a number of years, as Andrea can attest, to build up our PE program a little bit because the kids really don't have very much physical education. You know, for a small school, they have pretty good amount, but we would have liked to have had it at 0.65 instead of 6, but that did reduce that line item.
Quickly,
What?
may I add on to that? There's an increase there, you'll notice an increase. From the original proposal, I had taken into information we had on a teacher who had requested a leave of absence. And because of the shift in the number of days we've had to add on to this school year, well, we haven't added on, but because of the shifting calendar for this year and next year, because the leave is starting this year and going into part of next year, it has shifted kind of what we will be owing this person in terms of salary and through the days that this person's entitled to through FMLA and including.
So it's kind of like
There was a little bit of an increase there because of the adjustment. I just wanted to make sure I accounted for that. But that also includes the reducing the FTE for the physical education as well. So
right.
that came out.
Obviously, the way that came out is the way that came out. Okay, that was the second part of the explanation there. On line 17, the teaching assistant, we eliminated the proposed teaching assistant, the EK teaching assistant, and along with that, the benefits that go along with that, the Social Security benefit and the Medicare certified and non-certified staff benefit. And you can see for line 17, it was 100% reduction. For line 22, it was 5.64 reduction. And for line 23, it was 1.18 reduction. We are making an assumption on line 42, the telecommunications and internet piece. We are making the assumption that we are going to get a grant for that from CEN. And we took the $3,696 out of there. So their percentage change is minus 69.02%. This is a hard one for us because we like to make sure our kids get experiences outside of at Kellogg, but we reduced the field trip line, not a lot, but a little bit. Actually, money-wise, it's not a lot. Percentage-wise, it's fairly significant. The principal, previous principal had a cell phone, and Andrew graciously gave up the cell phone that he had been given, and that reduced the budget by $1,069, and we actually eliminated that totally. So I don't think that will be back in the budget anytime soon. Some things we could reduce a little bit, but not a whole lot. The graduation awards, we do have to have some, and we replenish the graduation awards and PBIS. We do have to replenish some of the kindergarten registration materials. And on the next line, student testing services, again, they're consumable. So we have to replace those testing materials too. Technology application software, we reduced the number of student licensed based on updated enrollment numbers. And we are down a little bit on that, but every little bit helps. Electricity, we're probably taking a little bit of risk on. This is going by the budgeted amount we had last year. Obviously, we will work hard to make sure that we don't go over what we're putting in the budget. And then textbooks in hard and digital. Again, we moved to grant funding, and we're still waiting for the grants to come in, Andrew. Or do we get
they're in the approval process and they're being processed.
Okay, all right. So we're pretty good on that one. Technology hardware. Based on the updated enrollments, we reduced the number of Chromebooks. And there may have been a few Chromebooks that we're keeping on that will go an extra year or two than what we would like, but are working properly. Non-instructional equipment, because we do not have the EK any longer in our budget, we took out the non-instructional equipment for some of them, $4,774, which is a big percentage, and we were able to reduce it by $41,387. Now these numbers, the lines match up with the lines on the budget. You probably were following. Let's do it. Okay, the next page on the 2 pages that we gave you, we show you where we are in terms of each unit. 100 series, 200 series, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. We give you a breakdown of the amount from each series that the figure was reduced, and what the percentage is, either up or down. You can see on salaries with contracts, we would expect that there would be at least some of an increase, and that is 3.06 increase. Benefits was a 5.62 increase, and that really, just so you know about the benefits, sometimes teachers and others who work there have spouses that get insurance, and they have better insurance, or they have a better a better deal, if you will, financially. But the insurance rates, I guess, if you've been looking at the news and stuff, the insurance rates are very, very expensive. And we do encourage, I know Andrew does encourage and talks to the staff, that if they are able to get, insurance benefits that match what we offer, would appreciate them taking with their spouse if they could. And I'm sure that the spouses,
The same conversation.
the same thing. Okay. We have some increases. We have increases on educational services, less than 1%. Property services, that's up a little bit. But if you look at property services and you look at your budget, property services are one of the things that we don't have too much control over.
Right.
So, we look for the best deal, but it doesn't always work out for us, but we do the best that we can. Property services are Series 400, as you may have noted there. And there's been increases in most of them. The septic tank maintenance is the largest increase. We have 2 septic tanks, Andrew?
Yes.
Yeah, to have 2 septic tanks there in order to meet the standards that the state requires. And we do that, we do clean them religiously as often as they need to be are cleaned, or we are mandated to clean them. Okay, let's see here. The 500 series, which is a purchase services. Want to match your, okay? Those, the 500 series is pretty expensive because we have transportation in there, we have liability insurance in that series. We have summer school, but probably the most expensive are the insurances, the cyber insurance, the student insurance. And when we can latch on with somebody else, either another entity or sometimes even with the town, we do that. Supplies is a reduction. I worry a little bit about that, but we'll figure it out. We'll manage. Property equipment, which is the 700 series, is down significantly, at least percentage wise. Dues and fees are up just a little bit. Capital stays the same. And that's where we made our reductions. You see off to the right, you see the pie chart, and that shows you better how what portion of our budget is being used. Obviously, salaries and benefits, as always, are the largest cost. So right now, for our budget alone, then that would be just the Kellogg, okay? Our proposed is $2,449,328, and we reduced it by 2.47%. We didn't quite get to the 3 that you asked for, but let's say we tried. I think I wasn't at your last meeting, but I think there was a bit of a surprise or an outcry about the regional budget. I've been doing this for over 20 years, and it is that budget, as many of you know who have served on the Board of Finance for a while, that goes up and down. It depends on the percentage of students you have. So you're kind of between a rock and a hard place. You want your elementary school to increase in pupil enrollment, right? You want your kids to go to the local high school, but if you get more kids, it shifts the number of kids enrolled in each town. And when that happens, that changes our share, which I'm sure you know and understand. So our total gross budget is a $267,967,000 increase. It's a 6.81% increase. We feel that given the hand that we were dealt this time especially in terms of our enrollment, it would be, you could say, yeah, we can have less students, but I'm not going to give a lecture, but I'm just going to say something because I'm so passionate about this. We want our town to be vibrant. We want our town to have kids in it. We want our town to be a place where people would like to come to settle. And I can tell you right now, right next door to me, they're renovating the house right next door to me. They're going to move in. They have 2 small children. The mom homeschools, but my hope is that I can talk her into sending the youngsters when they get one of the boys will be the kindergarten age, I think, in September. And I, happy for Andrew and I to arrange for a tour for her. Whatever they would like, we will do that. They probably are not going to move in for another month or 6 weeks. but I will be at their doorstep telling them what a great school we have here and welcoming them. And it doesn't hurt that we have a pool that kids can swim in our pool. So that's a good thing. And from my point of view, being around Falls Village for so long and being involved in education and the boards of education for over 20 years, I think that the town is very fortunate because the people that I have served with on the Board of Education are very aware of the dollar, but we try very hard to balance that so that our school will be not only effective, but it will be something that people will want to come to. So I think we did the best that we could do. I hope you will give us a little bit of leeway. But we have been so fortunate, and Andrew has had a wonderful start at Kellogg. Very, very popular with the students, I must say. I don't have anybody at Kellogg anymore, so I don't have any skin in the game personally for this. My granddaughter is graduating from high school, so we're kind of done with.
So what?
Yeah, we're kind of done with that, and my grandson is going to Marvelwood, but we did our very best. I hope that our very best will be something that will be positive with you folks and that we will be able to move forward. We do have, I want to let you know, last year the state allowed us to take 2% of our unexpended funds and put it in an account that the Board of Education has control over, not the town. And we still have a roof project. We have 3 sections of roof to complete. And we are hoping that we can use at least part of that to maybe do 1 section or 2 sections and see what we can do. But we're hoping that that money will offset some of the capital expenses we have. I don't think, and I look at Ginger and people who have been around a long time, I don't think that we have borrowed a lot of money in the last, I bet you 20
Not
years.
since the school project,
The
the renovation project.
Yeah, but that was in 1982.
Jeremy was in 5th grade.
Yeah.
I mean, in kindergarten.
Okay,
Yeah.
so there you go. Was he in kindergarten in 1982?
No, we borrowed in around 2000. Jeremy was kindergarten when we
Okay.
did that
All
project.
right. But
Yes.
in order for us to keep our building the way that, in other words, we save money by keeping up on things like this. So, I mean, obviously, in the end, it's going to be up to the citizens of our town. And I know we are set to do that on Friday, I guess.
Yes.
We're
The hearing.
The hearing.
that's
Right.
that's the hearing, right?
So can I make a couple comments? Because I think you've done a great job, Pat and Andrew. Thank you so much. I was pleasantly surprised when I came to your meeting last night at all
Oh, I'm
our
glad.
work that was done. So I do want to address a couple of issues just because we had talked about them here and I wanted to get all the information out. The first thing I just want to talk about the high school budget and a little bit about where our sticker shock is coming from. We understand that that's secular and it changes, but we also understand that our economy right now is really tough and with the price of, gas and electricity and food and people are having a harder and harder time making ends meet, and so we're being very sensitive to that. So that's where we understand it, but we also have to be sensitive to it. So I'm just going to put that out there.
Okay.
Secondly, when last night at the Board of Ed meeting, when they talked about eliminating the EK, part of the reason they felt that they could do that was because the numbers just weren't there.
That's part of
So,
it, yeah.
and right now they still only have 5 registered coming into kindergarten, correct?
7.
Well, that would be
I've been-
5 plus 2 of the
Yes.
births, right? So
Yeah.
7 total,
And maybe 2 more after that. Well, 1 more after that, perhaps.
maybe, right?
Maybe.
So.
And that's a question mark for sure.
Right, so we don't know, but even still, there's plenty of room for more students. I mean, and so that was part of why they felt comfortable doing that they could eliminate the EK for next year. We Sam Herrick reached out to the bus company to ask about eliminating one of the school buses to see one route to see if that was possible. If they did, the feeling is that the bus route could take an hour and 15 to an hour and 30 minutes, which is a long time for little kids to be on the bus.
And
So
they
I
were,
don't think anybody wants to.
and there are state regulations about the time they're on the bus too. The little,
That,
the
that
little,
was a regional, regional.
That was regional, it's
That
not
was regional.
state. Actually, it's regional, not state. The state actually says that um that it they recommend being conservative in the amount of time, but only if you have a special ed kid with an IEP around bus time has to be under an hour.
yeah.
So
We have several.
right, but I don't know if it's in the IEP, but I don't need to know. That's none of my business.
Yeah.
But the point being that it probably wouldn't be in the best interest of our students right now to do that. But the Board of Ed agreed to continue to look at that and look at the route as they move forward to see if it's something that might happen in the future.
And the other thing too, that we have looked into, is having our own 15-passenger bus. Now, that's not gonna be possible in this particular climate.
Right.
But we haven't given up on something like that, where maybe we could own it. We could probably get somebody in the school to get the right bus license if we did that. And there are schools that do that.
The town has a bus now that's not registered and ready to go yet, but the town has a bus that they got from Hotchkiss,
Hotchkiss.
right? Which there's potential if we're
Okay.
creative in our thought process,
Well,
which
yeah.
then you might be able to hire someone who has the proper bus license when you want to do a field trip or something, but we're not there yet.
There may be some retrofitting and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're not there yet.
But
But
just
think about it.
Yeah, I just wanted you to know that we're trying to set our sights ahead of ourselves to find ways
That's cheaper
before the
than the
next
school
fiscal
owning it.
year, fiscal year after that, where maybe we can do something to reduce the budget. And I don't want to interrupt you. Were you done?
I am.
Okay.
I just wanted to address those couple things because I think people might have questions around the EK and eliminating it, but if we only had two children who it looked like were gonna
Right.
participate, then that's a lot of money for two kids.
Right, it may
Right.
be, but if the state mandates that we have to take care of it, then we have to take care of
So
it.
next.
Not for.
Yeah, but that's,
Um, there are other ways that we can work around that if that happened too. Sometimes they hire the parents actually to bring them to school.
right.
They have to have the right insurance on their vehicle and all that, but there are ways that I understand there are ways
Right.
of doing that.
So we may have to be creative in another year, but
Yeah,
not this
exactly.
year.
As far as the regional budget goes, this is really an off year for us. We've already gone through the regional budget. We've already gone through that budget. I don't know who knows Sam Herrick here. But Sam Herrick is a terrific business manager, terrific. And if there's a place where he can find to reduce the budget, he's going to do that. This is just one of those years. And I'm sure your wife, I think, did your wife graduated from high school, did she not? I am sure that during I don't know, it's been 60 some odd years since I graduated from high school. I think your wife is a bit younger than I am.
It has not been quite 60 years, but it's been more than 50.
Oh, okay, that's good. I know that she was younger. Your sister-in-law, Marion.
Yeah.
She was a year ahead of me. She was in high, and Tracy was a couple of years ahead of me. So I went to school with your relatives. But all I can say is that we are very proud of our school. I think that Falls Village in particular, just so you know, speaks up at the Region 1 Board of Education meetings. I'm the representative there, so you know that I speak up. But we've had people that have been on that board that do speak up. And sometimes we just have to bite the bullet a little bit. I want us to remain the kind of school and the kind of community that we are. And if we have to bite the bullet a little bit for 1 year, I hope we can do that.
Okay.
And I'll leave it at that unless you've got other questions, because our budget, our local budget, which is the one that you guys
Mhm.
have control of, is the percentage of increase is not very much.
No, it's 2.47.
2.47.
Right.
The regional budget at 13.53. What I hope that sometime, I hope that you can make time next year sometime to come to some of the budget meetings at the high school so you can
The
see.
estimate to the proposed, it's 3.3. Where's the 20 grand go?
What are we talking about?
Okay,
Uh,
2025.
Point of order.
Point of order.
We first of all, it's the proposed 2026 budget.
Yeah,
So
Yeah,
Pat, you're
26,
comparing-
27.
You're appropriately comparing the budgeted of 25 to 26 to 26 to 27.
Yep.
To come with a 2.47. You're estimating a 20%
Underspend.
underspending in your estimate for
20,000.
And Pat, based that's
20,000,
question. I'll let
which
you
I'm assuming the 20,000 will be part of your, if that does come to fruition and you don't end up needing it, will be part of your 2% that you are holding.
Right, and if we do have any part of that 2% that we're holding, I cannot speak for the full board right now because we really haven't discussed that at any length for doing that in a couple of months. But I'm pretty sure it'll go into that account, and I am almost positive, and Andrew can maybe back me up on this, that we will be looking at portions of the roof. We know we can't do that roof, all the portions that are left. I think there are 3 portions that are left to redo. We're not going to be able to do it all at once unless we take out,
Unless you bond it.
unless we bond it, exactly. And what we're trying to do is do the right thing, make sure the roof stays decent so that it doesn't leak. And I will say one thing else, and he will probably kill me. He's not here. But Bill Beebe, former custodian, has been an enormous help to us. He's on the building committee, but if Chad Olson, who is the custodian there, has any questions, Bill will be down there in a second. And I've gone there a couple of times and dropped off when my grandson was still at Kellogg and dropped him off. And son of a gun, if Bill's truck isn't already in the parking lot and they're doing something for something major. So I think we've done the best we can. One thing that I would like to ask you that you make time to do next year. It is really so important that you understand the regional budget.
I know, we didn't realize that your presentation was the same night as theirs.
Yeah,
That was unfortunate.
basically, my daughter zipped me down. I basically got to the presentation of it at the very end. But if we can let you know,
Yeah, of course.
I mean, it's advertised, but I can make a personal contact with the chairman and say, hey, look, they're doing that presentation. If you've got a Board of Finance meeting that night, maybe you want to have a special meeting to give the members of the Board of Finance an opportunity to go to the meeting. I don't know if you've ever seen a presentation by Sam Hare. But it's very thorough. Very thorough. Okay, so I guess that's it for me. I hope that we were complete enough and that you have an understanding of where we're coming from
Do
and
we
how
want to
we're
make
going
a motion to move this to hearing?
No,
This $20,000
No,
that's
let's
being,
keep
that's
going with-
underspent,
Yeah.
is that
The whole-
one large area or is it a few pennies here, a few pennies there? A few
It-
pennies here and there?
Yeah,
that's what I thought.
yes.
Yes.
What we do is we go over each line.
Yeah.
And we go over the line.
I'm trying to learn, but-
We go over the lines about 4 times before we present it to you guys the first time.
Right.
And then we spend, well, Andrew was at our meeting, I don't know, it was like 2.5 hours or something going over it.
Yeah.
We try to do our due diligence, that's what we try to do, but if I do say so, at least from my point of view, we've been elected as members of the Board of Education to do the work of the Board of Education and provide the best education we can to our kids. And I understand the financial constraints sometimes, but I hope that when you look at it and want to make some reductions, and when we do that, that we could come to some mutual agreement that's somewhere in the middle and reasonable.
Mhm.
If you have any other questions later on, just let me know. You can call me at home. I have no problem with that. I'm 824-0271 if you want to call me at home. Not a problem.
Thank you, Pat.
Thank you, Pat. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you. Very good.
Can there
I may
be
just
a
stay here
question from the
because I
public
get
here?
stiff.
At
It's
the end, I can't do it during this.
Not sure,
Yeah,
because it will pertain to this budget.
We can discuss after.
we can, yep, definitely. Dave?
We're here. We're up. Good evening. Once again, I have to tell you that, and I would like to ask my fellow selectmen at any time to also chime in with me as we go over this budget. I can tell you that we've spent a great deal of time going over the budget and trying to deliver those services with the finances that we have, that are customary, and that our residents, our taxpayers have gotten used to over the years. I think where I'll go, if the chair is okay with that, is just where we've made those cuts. And I'm going to tell you, right, we have not been able to come up with that $100,000 that you had asked. We went through the selectmen's expenses, and I did keep Tom after you and I had spoke. I did, in fact, keep the administrative assistant to the Board of Selectmen, because that $750 we may have to utilize as we go through some of these grants where I might need some assistance. I would like to keep that money there, and $750 does not seem like a great deal that it would matter. Our garden maintenance, we knocked down by $2,999 and dropped it to a line of $1. The other thing that we did was we dropped the line for special events, which was $1,500, and eliminated that. We also went to the town bus and dropped that by $500, still maintaining. There is a typo here in the proposed increase decrease. It's actually increases $2,000, not $2,500.
Right here. Here we go.
The other places where we went to look at getting monies is your accounting services, Board of Finance. We worked with our bookkeeper treasurer, who said it's more than likely around 3310 as opposed to 4410. As we move on, this would be the big one that we are looking at. Would be our non-recurring capital funds. Line 1028. What we looked at doing is coming up with $50,000. That would be a reduction across all non-recurring capital funds of 23.33%, which would give us $50,000. That's of the proposed 26-27 budget. Now you'll see when you look at your worksheet here, there's some different numbers in here with the reductions. That is to rounding up and rounding down.
Are you saying that that's $22,500 that was reduced from non-recurring capital accounts?
That would have been $50,000, Amy, which would represent 23.33% reduction.
50,000. I'm not. You mean as compared to? I mean, it was proposed.
Talking about non-recurring.
Non-recurring, yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
Non-re-
that's what I'm talking.
The numbers we have are
I'm adding out
500.
3.3%.
Right,
It was,
it works out.
I started with 3.3, but then it came out to like 1,912. So I had to round
right.
to make
Right.
whole numbers. So
So the,
it's not a clear 23.3%, so that it made $50,000,
So-
not like
Right.
Right,
just
right. So if
it's
you
a
look at the,
rounding kind of.
Yeah, but
If
the
you look at-
190 minus
no, but if
168.
you look at the old budget,
Yeah.
Yeah, but I understand now it was 218 and now it's 168.
okay. Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right. That's what I didn't know. Okay.
And the two heavy equipment reserve and the truck reserve was a percent, was off of what was budgeted, not the old number.
right, the new number.
Oh, okay. Oh, it was
I knew that.
218.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. And now it's this. Okay.
did that answer any question?
Yeah.
All set, Amy?
Yes, thank you.
Yep.
So in the end, the total government budget on your last page there would be up 5.06%.
There. Okay. Sorry.
I have a question. Of course. The question I have is the usual one, which is on here it is. Sorry. It's on benefits. That did not go down,
No, it
and
did not.
and if we were told that health benefits increased 11% this year, and
11.7, right?
yeah, but this has an additional $32,000, etc. in it. And I assume that's because you did not take out the family plan.
No, we did not.
Yeah,
Which
I'm
was an additional 19,000.
yeah, unless you have some kind of policy in place, I remain uncomfortable including more than the usual 11 something plus percent increase in health benefits. But maybe I'm the only one. So that was my question.
I have a couple that I just have questions about when I went through it. So, postage, we didn't even come close to expending the budget. So I mean, can we take $1,000 out of it? I don't know. Because
Well,
We can ultimately in our discussion,
Right.
we can actually.
Yeah.
I have not ordered the envelopes for this year.
oh, okay, because
Yeah.
you had the estimated expenditures
Yeah.
at 824.
It is,
So that's the year to date expenditure.
Oh.
right.
I don't have, yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay.
It's almost like looking at if we go over to the DPW budget and we look at what's been expended so far. Well, we're just getting into paving season now.
No, I understand, but I was, I still have, like, if we didn't expend it and I don't know what we're gonna expend it for, I mean, there can be an answer, but I just don't know, personally.
Unfortunately, I think postage is going to be going up again. So
Yes. Okay, my other one is election primary expense, because it went up a lot, but I went back and looked at what the 24-25 was, and we had a primary and an election that year, and we didn't come close to spending $8,000. So I'm just wondering,
this is what I received from the registrar of voters, and I have to be quite upfront with you, quite transparent. They estimated how many people they would have working, how many poll workers, so on and so forth for the primaries. We do have a gubernatorial, both Democrat and Republican this year.
right, but we had a presidential
we had a
and
president.
if we were at $4,500.
Right.
So I'm just wondering if we really need $8,000 or if we can reduce that.
We didn't use all the money because we've had state grants.
Right.
Okay, all right, that
And
answers that
we
question. Okay.
will
And
be,
the
if I
grant-
may, Patty, because I gave that
Yes.
to you the other day, there is $2.5 million now for state grants again, but there is never any guarantees that
Sure.
you're going to get.
And
I
we
mean-
don't know how much
Correct.
we could get.
Okay, nope, that's fine. I just wanted
But
to ask
with
that.
that said, the least amount we would get would be 2,000, I think.
Oh, so then maybe we could, I mean, it's
Probably
$2,000.
cut it 2,000. And
I didn't ask the registrar about it.
yeah,
Okay.
So I'm just,
now that we know we are getting something, it won't be less than
okay.
2,000.
And the other place where I thought was, I'm not sure, we didn't let anybody else increase their budget. I'm not sure that we should increase the rec budget. That's another area that I wanted to propose, because we didn't do the library, we didn't do any of the other, I don't think the children's theater, the daycare, we.
The rec department
Mhm.
is part of our town government as opposed to those where the library and so forth, which are
Right.
nonprofits.
Right.
So that's,
Right, but in a tough budget year it's over $9,000. So I'm just proposing that we take a look at that too.
So from my perspective, it looks like year to date on tipping fees and waste management, we're at 36,000 out of the estimation of 65,000. We want to also increase by another 5,000. We just don't have all the bills for tipping charges yet. I mean, we have 2 months left in the year, so we're well under where I would think we would be.
we're well under, but what I will tell you is that we are in a transition period with Crash.
Sure.
And
And there will be some sort of increase.
There
But
will
is
be
it gonna be an increase of $40,000?
I'm going to tell you right now, Tom, I don't know.
Right.
But what we're going with is the numbers that we have.
Sure, but if you so far have only spent that much, do we really need to increase the budget?
I believe so.
I mean, there's just it's kind of a gap there. So we're looking for places where we can kind of streamline a little bit. To me, it's an opportunity to maybe ratchet it back a little bit, but my opinion only. There's a lot of, I went to Dave and I had a list of stuff that I want to talk to him about. We did that and, to Dave's defense, he did have answers for all my questions, but I still feel like there's room to flex some of those numbers.
Do we have further questions for Dave right now? I'm just curious before we get into discussion of the budget. Let's continue on with what you were talking about.
Sorry. So from my perspective, just real quick, because I know that we really should be making a motion before we continue discussion.
Yeah.
I think there's other opportunities to streamline. I'll say that.
What I will tell you, and again, this is our proposed budget. Ultimately, this will be your spending plan. What cuts are made from here, that will be yours. This is what we have given to feel that we are serving the people of the town. That again, as I've said before, we are giving them the customary, how can I say it best, but what they deserve. Okay. Unfortunately, a dollar doesn't go quite as far as it did a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago. We can go through the CPI and talk about it over and over again. And the only visual that I like to use, and I always like to call upon our DPW manager, is there's $100,000 that we have for paving 1 mile of road. And we've had that for years. And right now, it does about 0.6 of a month. When we're 30-mile of roadway, we haven't increased that.
It's fair.
Question for Madam Chair. have you used the spreadsheet to calculate based on the numbers presented by Board of Education and the Select Board what the new deficit would be?
Uh-huh. The deficit at this point is 523,239. So I think there's a few things to think about that we can make the decision on certain lines on the Board of Selectmen to, if we're comfortable with, vote to reduce or increase as we choose here. We will have a hearing, things will go off, we move to hearing ultimately, whatever our decisions are. We also need to consider a few other things that have come to light that I kind of have known about, but didn't know how to, but we have to think about, not that we're budgeting revenue, but we are with Michelle's help getting an idea of what next year. So we've already talked about the auditors brought up the fact that we need to start to leverage our financial standing and make sure that instead of getting pennies on a dollar for 3+% of interest. And I think a little short-sighted on yours for next year if we can make that happen. So that would give us a little more revenue to think about. What we really can't put in is what Amy's passion in the firehouse, because that's still up in the air. If it happens, fantastic.
Old firehouse.
The whole firehouse.
Old firehouse.
Yeah, not the new one.
Not the new one. And then the other thing would be is we've been discussing the fact that the power plant will come online. And that power plant, when it comes online, will add to our tax base. The question that I can't answer right now, and I think we don't have 100% answer, is what does that mean to our taxable revenue?
Right.
Our tax base, is it increasing us $1 million? Is it, are we getting $1 million?
It's a reval year too.
Right, and they have been informed to Judy.
So, and I have heard that they're trying to finish the project by the end of December. I'm not overly optimistic, maybe it'll happen. So
They can prorate though.
if that, well, but, so what,
What do you raise up?
and that's what I'm getting at, is there is a potential
Mhm.
that we could see, let's say 3 months, let's be conservative, let's say 3 months of tax revenue that we could help. I mean, could it equal $1 million? Very possible. I don't know. I really don't know. I haven't found I guess we have to do some research.
We've actually reached out to our assessor,
I would say, do we know what the value is going to be? No?
not right at this moment.
Okay. So Ginger, can you say again what the gap is?
523 to 39.
Okay.
So I've had pulled in the recent revenue, so it took me 1 extra minute.
That's right. Yeah.
So I pulled in the revenue, I've pulled in the numbers here. We do have, there's a lot of things we can do to figure out how we could. Amy made a proposal last time, though I'm not comfortable with 10%, but we could adjust the general fund. We could make that and say 11%. We could propose specific numbers, on specific line items. We could go as far as increasing the mill by 2.14 to meet the gap. So those are the type of things that we have to decide. Obviously, we're going to hear the town's side on Friday. It's part of the hearing. And we have another meeting on Monday night to finalize. But
Ginger, do you want motions for any of these options before we meet on Monday, or do you want to wait until after the hearing?
yeah, we have to
We have to present.
I think we need to have a presentation. I mean, we could start, but I'd like to
No, that's fine.
know.
That's fine. I just wanted to know what you wanted tonight, and that I'm comfortable with what you've just said. So we're going to get more feedback, and then on Monday we can have at it.
Right. I also just think, just some things to think about, like, because it does impact our budget. It's $4,500 we spent on that firehouse this year. I don't know how many years we continue to do that before we decide, we still need parking in town, and do we decide that we're going to make that a parking area so it can, suit the businesses? I mean, there's going to be a cost to taking it down too, but um, we keep kind of saying that we're waiting on that too, and that money could go to the general fund. But I also just wonder if we have to make a decision and if what the threshold is for that and how long that we continue to go on with that.
Can I just add to that, if you don't mind, Andrea? Because I was thinking about this also of, as you're saying, cutting our losses, because as it's been explained to us, it's very complicated, it's very involved, and it sounds like it may be very, very complicated and it may not happen for a very long time if it happens at all. And so I also have that same question. Should we cut our losses? Because in addition to the maintenance costs, and maybe Dave can answer this question, what have the legal fees been for that negotiation for the town?
I don't have those right at my fingertip. To be quite honest with you, Amy, I'd have to go look at what they are. I don't have them right at my fingertip.
That's okay. I was just thinking with those costs plus the maintenance costs, maybe we would save more than $4,500 a year by just demolishing it and making it a usable property. But I'm with Andrea for considering something like that.
That's where I started, but now I've flipped over to we've got to get something out of it. Because we need the revenue.
Can I comment?
Mm-hmm.
We did a project for Fring and Water in Simsbury, and we had to demo some small block pump stations. They were like 20 by 25, pretty small, one story, $240,000
Yeah,
each
I know.
because of the vermiculite and the hazardous. So I mean, you're talking. It's not just going to be like just tear it down and throw it in dumpsters. That will probably cost us close to $1 million. I'm thinking if it's
You can't rent the upstairs, can you? Is it that bad?
Good to
Just
know.
curious.
We could look into doing that. We did for
I was just in there.
quite some time. We had Jack Scott in there utilizing it.
Yeah, I don't think the upstairs is in a condition you could rent out. We were just in there a few months ago. I don't think it's you have to renovate.
So the other thing I did ask, now that I know something about something that I didn't know about, which was the I didn't know anything about stiff investing, which is the short-term investment fund that the state of Connecticut has. So I've done a little bit of research. Michelle's probably doing a little bit of research. But they're returning a yield of anywhere from like 3 to 3.5%. Short term, like somewhere in the neighborhood of less than a month.
26 days.
26 days, literally turning it around. So you can move the money in and out. So I have asked Dave when he does the
When we do the call.
when we do the call to include the bank for this. So Michelle has some options.
So-
we'll have to do some stuff here as well. But I'm bringing this up as we have to look at revenue options.
And the risk? What's the risk level at this?
It's state funded. It's a state fund.
Now
And
we
is this-
already.
And is this also using the concept, Ginger, for this next fiscal year of using the class structure and combining bank accounts so we don't have so many?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Thank
Yes,
you.
yes.
Right.
yes, exactly.
If I may, Michelle, there are some banks in this area that do something similar to that, correct?
Kind of. I just I just heard about this today, so I just started researching everything, and I can look into
Okay.
our banks. I have to be honest, I've already switched some money to Northwest Union Bank because we're getting
They're-
2% interest as opposed to 0.01% interest that we're getting. So we're making more money in interest. You guys will see that on the revenue
Okay.
line now.
Yeah, thank you, Michelle.
But
That's something I didn't know about.
I do think
Right.
there's
Didn't know it
interest to
existed.
be made across the
Yeah.
board here. One by combining the reserves and
By combining the reserve cash level, not their specific purpose,
Right.
the cash level, we can do
Mhm.
some leveraging.
Yeah.
And it's
Mhm.
really something that we as a small town need to, we have this money, but we should be making money on it
Right.
we
as
should.
well. It shouldn't just
Making
be
more money.
taking.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, they do have a S&P rating and they're all out, so it's
It
definitely.
looks good. I mean, it does look good.
So I'm just bringing that forward because it's something as a board of finance, we might have to, what I'm getting at is we might
Yes,
have to
yeah.
take a short risk right now.
Mhm.
In the sense of, as much as I don't really want to necessarily lower the general fund too much, but we might have to take a short risk to get a longer term gain. But at the same time, we still want to be available, as we've talked about grants, we've talked about, and speak up if there's something else that somebody else has an idea on, but I'm just kind of throwing out
The interest
some of the
rates.
stuff, but I think we have to work on some interest.
Yeah, it's easy revenue.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, yeah, I just had one question. It is kind of a general question. I know that over the years, the amount of money that the Board of Finance, the town would approve to take out of the general fund, we've tried to limit that. Does the Board of Finance have an idea if it was going to take some money out of the fund?
Right now, we have a
Yes.
percentage of 12.5.
That's a lot.
That's something that we had voted on. We could adjust that. Propose it to go lower. I personally, I know it's been proposed to 10. I find that too low. I'm looking somewhere in the neighborhood of 11 and a half, 11 and a half.
Well, how much would that give you if you approximately? You're the.
I've got it sitting here.
Yeah, I knew she would have it.
That is why she's our chair.
Yeah,
She's
So
doing a great job.
based on the projected general fund right now, and I firmly believe it could go a little higher because I still think there's an.
I think it already did today.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, but that.
So 12.5 right now of the general fund. If we were to take it out, we would have 98, just shy of 99,000 to use. So our general fund is 942,405.
Yes.
Yeah.
Actually,
Yeah.
you might be able to add another roughly 84,000 of general fund money we're not expected to use this year.
Oh, that you think we'll underexpend?
It's the general fund allocation, and according to Michelle, I just double checked with her. She thought it's likely, you never know, that we will be able to return roughly $84,000 to the general fund.
Right now, we're only using about 134 of it, and
I mean, that's my estimate.
and that's an estimate. It's an estimate. It's an estimate. Things change.
That's just from the general government budget, correct?
Right.
Yeah.
That's just from revenue.
So, if we were 12.5% of it would be 843,000. If we were, meaning we would maintain a general fund budget of 843. If we dropped it to 11, let's go on the extreme side of it, it would be 742. So that's a tight, I'm just tightening it. I'm just, let's be clear what's out there.
Right.
Transparent.
Um,
And again, I agree that yes, it could, Amy, like you were saying, it could shift. We've seen.
um,
Yeah, if you
So
went down to 11 and you had the 84,000, it means that we could contribute a significant amount to the general to this, but it would still mean about we'd go from 22.44 mill rate to roughly 23 and a half. That's much better than where we were, of course.
Yep. So that's kind of what we're.
Fine.
Yeah.
And it doesn't alleviate the pain for next year without really investing in some discussion on revenue options.
Right. Yeah.
But at least we'll be better positioned if we start investing that money in those short term.
Sure, but is it gonna cover the shortfall?
No, no.
So we're still gonna have that
Right.
behind us as we move into the next year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Correct.
and the
Yeah.
regional one should be better because I had 2 students going in.
Yeah, but if the other towns have less students, it won't matter. Like it just shifts
Yeah, I
that the
know.
whole
Mhm.
percentage.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so we don't know what they're, we don't
But,
know,
I mean-
yeah, we don't know what they're doing.
Right. No, we actually should be in a better position with the high school budget next year. So our numbers will decrease.
Yes, the numbers will be low.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that will give us a little bit of a reprieve for 1 year.
Yeah, with that, it's between a rock and a hard place.
Yeah.
As I said
Yeah.
before, you love to have the student population here at Kellogg to go to the high school, but then when you get to the high school, the percentage of what you are going to pay goes up. I will give you some funny, but it's not funny. Hazel probably remembers this.
Oh, God. Yeah,
Well, we've been here a long time, Hazel.
thanks.
When Pete Lawson first came
Oh, boy.
on as first selectman, the general fund was practically zero. So you guys are doing a great job of making sure that it stays, if your lowest percentage is 11.5%, you're really doing a great job. And I do think that Falls Village is more thoughtful, I guess is the best way to put it, about how they think about this and how they look toward the future than many towns in Connecticut. I think we're pretty good up here in the northwest corner, but some other towns, they have a lot more trouble. Let's just put it
Well,
that
we
way.
have to be creative if we want to have programming and, infrastructure for our town
That's right.
and be able to meet,
You want to make sure you have,
We're not looking far enough forward.
yeah.
I would have to say, if I may add, infrastructure is the big bugaboo now. Okay, we do have bridges, we do have roadways that need attention, and I mean, we do have to pave.
And that is why, as much as I'm
Correct.
gonna harp on it, is we have to have that,
We
we have to have that map, that roadmap. Because that roadmap is gonna help us realize where, as Tom's saying, we gotta look further in the future to
Correct.
say, how much more are we gonna potentially need? Because we are very fortunate to not have lots of debt, some towns are very high in debt.
right?
Where is our flexibility gonna be? And we need to address that. We need to address, there's a lot of.
Correct.
But this roadmap of a capital plan will say, okay,
Right.
yes, we have grants here, you may have one, we're gonna need to bond up this in order to get that, and it'll be 100% covered, but we still have to cover that.
Right.
Exactly.
So,
That's to
I'd
say
like
the one
to-
we look.
I'd
Was
also
that
like to
bridge?
make a recommendation again, that our selectmen actually schedule the first, revenue strategic plan meeting for this June. We just keep talking about it, and it's not. If it were our job, we could do it. If you want to push it onto us, Dave, we will do it. But we need leadership in this work, and it can't be delayed. As Tom's been doing some work on it, but nothing can actually become fully explored and vetted without some intentional work to do on it?
What I'd like to do is, once we get through this budget process, is actually put together on your recommendation, Amy, of course, and something that we need is some, for lack of a better term, a blue ribbon committee, and have them look at revenue resources. Because I think,
with broad representation.
oh yes, very
Yeah.
broad representation. We're going to have to put something together. I think Tom has made the point more than once, and I always tag him with this. We do not have a spending problem. We have a revenue problem.
Yeah.
We are very, very good in watching the bottom line, but we do have a revenue problem.
Do you have a lot of the capital expenditures forms filled out?
We have a number of them filled out. We just need to sit, and probably the best place to sit with them would be this committee to look at them and then move forward.
Start building a visual plan.
I do have the fire commissions.
So I guess we should just, at least we want to move, we'll take these two proposals and move them to hearing
On Friday.
on Friday.
I make a motion that we move both spending proposals, the Board of Ed and the Town of Canaan Municipal spending plans to hearing on Friday, May 8th at 7 p.m.
Second.
Thank you. Oh, wait, we have to have dollar amounts. Thank you, Denise. Okay, so the Town of Canaan is proposed $2,545,437. And the Kellogg proposed spending plan is $2,449,328. Thank you.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Any further discussion?
Hearings at 7 p.m., right?
I'm comfortable moving the plans to hearing, but I do feel that there are still areas that we should look at.
Wait, did you second it? You did second it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So my only comment is that.
Yeah. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
We have to do that with Carl on.
Yeah. Those two.
Oh, is Carl still there, Carl?
He's muted.
Oh,
Okay.
Amy did say aye. I heard
Yeah.
that. Is he there?
I can give a thumbs up. Oh no, he's on the phone, right?
He's on.
Well, if he puts his picture up.
I said hello. Oh. Can you hear us, Carl?
That's Amy.
Oh,
That's Amy.
I think he abstains.
Yeah.
I said hello.
We def motion is passed based on majority.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Public comment. Chris.
Yeah, Chris Kinsella. I just wanted to make sure that, in our effort to make the budget look good, palatable, that we don't lose sight in, the non-recurring capital accounts here. We have to fund them. And, so this year it's a pass. Next year we have to get that money back. With prefer, and some of them need to not just get the money back, they need to gain what we took this year.
So if you sold the,
My proposal would be, if I can dovetail on what we spoke about among the Board of Selectmen, is when we sell the firehouse, the old firehouse, that those funds that we took out, that 23.33 or that $50,000 goes right back into the non-recurring capital fund account, which now is going to be, it's going to be a larger account.
So that probably has to be a town meeting vote, I would assume.
That would be
Yes.
for
Right.
our, to bring up at our hearing.
Right.
And that would also be to bring up at the town meeting
Right.
on the
So
22nd.
And you
Well-
as a board of selectmen, I think, have to approve that to move it to the
Yes, we will.
various locations.
Just
Yeah,
letting you know
That's
that
your plan.
that is the plan.
But we really don't want to move anything until.
No,
we
no,
have-
you're not going to move it, but that is,
No.
Nothing's gonna happen yet until we have.
no.
no, it won't move,
No,
but
no, no.
if they sell the building, then that could be set up so that it pays that
Yeah.
first and the rest goes in the additional fund or whatever,
Correct.
right? Yep. Okay.
That only makes it feel better for a
Why?
little,
Yeah.
a little while.
No, I understand that. I did, no, I understand.
A Band-Aid.
Right.
Mhm.
Thank you. I was gonna, other. Go ahead.
I live with a guy who wants a new truck, so I get it.
Other comments?
Deserved it.
Yes, Peter Jensen here, BB Hill Road. Comment on the Kellogg budget. You did a great job keeping it at 2.4%. That's really nice. Well done.
thank you.
The regional budget jumped up 13.5% and was voted on yesterday. I understand it.
It did, it did not pass here.
We were the only
We
town
were the only
to,
town that did pass, and it was like 8 votes or something.
Why, I'm just asking, why did it go up 13%? 13.5%.
Okay, there are three.
What was the, because you have said that's an aberration
It
this
is.
year, and we'll go back next.
Right, this year, the high school budget was more on a normal rate. The 20% increases were on pupil services. Okay, which is part of special education, okay? And the RSSC, and there were a number of state mandated things that we have to do.
And you're saying the state mandated things in this budget going up 13.5% are taken care of, and then next year they won't have to.
Oh, we never know what the state is gonna do.
But we had
But-
outplacements.
Yeah,
We had
yeah.
a huge increase,
especially past
500,000 in
Yeah,
outplacements.
Madam Chair, these are-
that's pupil services.
Madam Chair, these are good questions for the hearing, aren't they?
Yes.
Yeah.
This is public comment.
Yeah. And really, if I could make one more comment, what I really hope that people will do is next budget season, I really hope that maybe there's a representative from the Board of Finance, one or two representatives that will come to the hearings for the high school so that that you could hear that. And it may be taped, so we might be able to give you might be able to give you an address you can go to look at. Believe me,
Thank you.
the superintendent and the administration are very, very aware of this. But remember, we're educating, we're educating 6 towns, and not always easy.
Okay, so that was a comment that I made as a compliment.
Oh, thank you.
I also have some questions as well. Yes, as I said, it would the budget went up 3.3%, not 2.47%,
Maybe-
because of the 20,000 estimated that will be expended from last year's budget. So that is
It's not how you do
20,000.
it. Math.
So basically, the budget for 2025-26 was that's 2,390,265. But you're saying that the estimated expenditure against that budget is 20,000 less.
And we have an account, we have an account for 2% of the expended funds where that will be placed in that account.
Okay, and
So-
that is a new count.
That
When
did
did that start?
last year.
Okay, so now let's go back.
Sir.
Right.
Pardon me?
This is 2-minute limit on public comment. This is not a discussion. If you want to bring your questions to the hearing on Friday, that would be great.
Yes. And if you want to let us know what the questions are, Pat, I'd ask you to address them on Friday night.
Sure.
So I can't finish what I'm.
You can ask the question, but I'm gonna ask Pat to respond on Friday night when
Okay,
there's a
very good,
larger.
that's fine. Then this actually now is really a joint question around the town and the school budget, which has to do with the expenditure of Kellogg School maintenance. 2 years ago, it was 17,000. Then the year last year it was 17,000. This year it is 13,000. It's gone down a little bit. Is that 17,000 for capital maintenance on Kellogg School?
So we'll
So what
take
is
a
the
look.
20,000 if we're already paying 17,000?
We'll answer that.
Put it in writing
that
so that I know
we
exactly
can
what
talk that.
you are asking.
Well, maybe it's more of a town meet.
Yeah,
If it's the education budget, it would come to
it
us.
will come to you. Yeah, so feel free, and I know Pat
you
even
and-
gave her name,
Yeah,
number out.
number out. You have her
No, she'll
number.
leave a call.
Yeah, I gave, you can call me. If, it would be nice if, Kurt McCarra at Comcast.
I'm gonna have to go.
Sorry. Gave that to, if you email me the questions
Oh, it is?
that you have, I can have them ready to be answered on Friday night. Just go to Kurt McCarra, CURT.
Pat, we can write it down for him.
If you would, please.
Yeah.
You should
Okay. Is there any other comments?
No, I haven't put in the minutes. Denise had no comment.
We can put.
No comment.
Is that a comment?
No, yes.
That is going on the record.
Is that a comment? No comment?
I'll wait,
It's perfect.
I'll write her email back.
Can I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Civil.
Second.
Yeah. Second, Martin.
Was that
First,
Tom
Martin.
and Martin?
Yep.
Yeah.
All those in favor?
Aye.
MECHARE
I have it written down
Thank
right here,
you.
so.
at Comcast.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Thank you for that.
Thank you, guys. Good job.
Mr. Jensen, here you go, sir.
17,000 that has been there. I don't know if he was, thank you.
There you go.
What's that? Look, according to a maintenance,
Where was the law?
well, here,